So POE 3.25 could be the biggest league ever, most players playing ever, and also TotA could be coming back and going core. Hello and welcome to this sort of recap of the POE 3.25 sort of teasers and releases and what we know, what we expect and all that. Now, I have been a little under the weather, so if you hear that in my voice or anything, do forgive me. Now, we'll start at the top. Valdo puzzle boxes. They're going to become more common to pick up, as it says, but the higher tier loot will become more rarer. So don't just expect to be able to farm puzzle boxes and get all the top loot, but you'll be able to open them and get that sort of feeling that you have a chance and all that random stuff. Or you could sell them because not everyone actually looks at the post notes and all that, and you might be able to sell some Valdo puzzle boxes early on because people don't know the higher tier stuff is slightly more rarer, so you might be able to make some profit on trade early on. Now the div card thing, it could be good, could be bad, could be meh. You see, hover over the map, atlas, and see the div cards. Now this does have some questions still to be answered, depending on what's boss drops, what's this, what's that, can we turn it off? So it might be the start of the divination cards coming in. Let's see if it shows a little.
Hi.
If we have a look, as you can see, you hover over it, shows some. There's some changes. So once everything gets going and the patch notes come out with the league, we'll be able to see where the div cards have gone to, because there's some that are gone from their usual maps. And I assume some of the maps they're showing are guaranteed to be there and they're not like extra teasing. Now, the div card thing is a bit of a okay. It's a quality of life thing, but it might get annoying if you can't actually interact with it, search for certain div cards or anything like that. This doesn't affect everyone because not everyone does single acronyms, but if you do them, they're going to get rid of the 1 to 15s and let you just kick it off at a higher level. And so whoever does single acronyms will want to hit the single acronyms more because they won't have the boring stuff beforehand. The unique rewards will still be there and still be just as rare, but since you can run them quicker and more often, the actual amount of drops that some of the farmers get might actually make the rewards cheaper. So do look out for that. If you're one of the people that like getting the uniques that belong into this, you might be able to get them cheaper next league. This is a change that I think should change how you play Act 2. Pretty much any build review or anything I've done or come across, etc., always says take the 2 passives. There's 1 or 2 things that you take a lira. They have split the passive points into 2 different things. The bandits get 1 passive point or a nerfed reward from each of the bandits depending on who you help. And then golden, I have it written down, golden hand quest should be where you get the other passive point. In my opinion, this pretty much should mean that you always go for a lira to get the extra elemental resist, because Act 2 you get the 15% elemental resist, then you start getting a little bit of gear, and then we are going good. Whereas 2 pass points is quite big early on. It can actually give you some damage or give you some defense compared to other things, but just 1, you can pretty much go, okay, this 1 means defense. is pretty much how I think you should look at it now. And on top of that, they have announced, and it's further down the list, the Necropolis stuff won't be going core, so you won't have that option next league. So you will have to get your defenses the usual way, depending on how the league mechanic plays. I doubt it'll be as, not game breaking, but it eliminated a lot of the other league mechanics with the crafting. This is big for pretty much everyone. It allows you to get your 5th maps device slot earlier, and then the 6th, if you could do a T17 last league, depending on what they do with them this league, you'll get your 6th. You need the 10-way maiden fight for the 5th. So a lot of people within the first month of the league will have 5 slots now, and then be chasing the 6th. This Blight Oil is a bit of a because we don't actually know. They are keeping it secret at this point. We don't know whether they're going to be allowing people to...
Blighted and blight ravaged maps.
Yeah, I was talking. This Prismatic Oil and these 2 uniques. One gives evasive, the other one gives 5% cooldown on traps per mine used, and there is supposedly a few more things to get with this than people are guessing, so it'll be interesting to see how good this one is. So at this point, it's like a, should be good, but some of the stuff is very specific. If it gives you defensive stuff, because they did nerf some of the aura stuff, so if it gives you some boost to there, then that's good. Pickup range, that's just quality of life. Boss bar, and this helps in the general overall, how am I doing in this fight? I don't think it actually helps as much as people are making out, but it will be a quality of life for pretty much early POEs. Everyone else will just, they'll know by mechanics, not actually the health bar, really. This will be interesting. The actual, we have a look, and we go a little bit further. The actual quality items will now be making things multiplicative on it, so it's based on everything. But does this mean that these items will be rarer because they are getting a boost in overall powering of the gear? And then there's also the rework of item quality. So will this stuff become rarer, and will gem cutter prisms become like a chaos orb type drop, like people really want it? Playing will be the only answer, really. And I believe in this stuff they did show the new bases, top tier in armor, but we're expecting every armor base to get a new higher tier. It's one of the things like, oh yeah, but we need to see how it plays and all the stats and everything on it. So unfortunately it's like a yes, but how does it really play out type thing. This should have been in a long time ago. You don't have to go up and stand on, click on, interact with the waypoints. You just go near it and then move away. This could have something to do with the actual pickup radius, because they did change the pickup radius which used to be, it's like that big. Now it's like that big. So like 2 meters away from you, you can interact with an item by the looks of it. Whereas before, you had to stand on it. So it could have had something to do with that system. So they had to rework that. And now that the pickup radius is wider, we can actually do the waypoints. So that's quality, talked about that. Waypoints, just talked about that. Harvest encounters, that's everyone does harvest, but only because they have to, because of how good harvest can be. So I don't think the harvest will really matter to people because you can just click and go instead of multiple clicks. So it's like okay. So that wasn't that big a deal either. And yeah, the auras and everything pretty much cut in half. Which I don't. With the extra armor they're adding to armor bases, I'm assuming they're moving it from auras and everything to armor. And one would expect that's because they're transitioning away from the sort of skill gems do everything for you to the armor and everything is important over just being able to run with low quality gear with auras. And they should. You die, you don't have to respawn them. So if you run generally 5-6 auras, you won't have to reactivate them. And sometimes you die because you forget that you need to reactivate all of them. And yeah, so that was the first one. And I think most people are happy about the fact that it persists on death. Out of all of them, I'm not sure. Like this one's like been told as like game changing, but it's not really. This could be the quality being multiplicative on armor and weapons. That could be game changing. They also put the quality items on maps just being the type of map, not the actual modified or unmodified. So any white map, any yellow, any red, and then potentially Valdo boxes, Valdo maps, and that can be qualityed up separately as well, because they said red plus. So either T17s or the special, like, I'm not sure how they qualify plus, whether that's just T17s can be quality now, or they're looking at making other content maps considered different regardless of what tier map they actually are. So that's a lot of changes. What's you looking forward to? I reckon it has the opportunity to become one of the best player-based leagues of POE. We could end up seeing 250 to 300,000 people actually log in because there is a lull in ARPGs right now, and everyone's been waiting for this since about a month into Necropolis. So, depending on everything and how people get the trailer, that's like in 24 hours, and everything, this could actually bring the most people to play PoE in a single season than ever before. Just because of it's happening at the right time. So if it attracts the right people at the right time, you're always guaranteed a lot of success. It just needs to deliver after that for longevity of the league. But, and yeah, the uniques are going core except for one. The I do have it written down. Perandus Pact is not going core, and that could just be that it's going somewhere else later. but Necropolis is gone. They're also doing totem stuff. People think it's got to do with change of totems, as in the skill. They could be actually bringing back TotA into core in a different sort of setting. So run it like a separate league mechanic that you can farm your goods doing the tier stuff. So TotA could be coming back to core. Well, could be going to core. Could be coming back. And this could be the best player based POE there has ever been. So do hit all those buttons. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the league that you have seen so far. And I'll catch you next time, and goodbye.